Dear students, in our last video we have learnt about the projectile motion, and under the projectile motion we covered the equations which are related with the trajectory of the projectile, the equation or the expression for time of flight, the expression for the range, and we derived the equation for maximum height reached by the projectile. Now, in this video, we are going to continue with our next concept, a very important concept of the chapter, that is circular motion. Then, what is circular motion? If any object moves in a circular path around a fixed central point, then we call it as the circular motion. For example, observe the screen. Here one object is moving around a fixed point in the circular path, isn't it? So motion of such object is called as the circular motion. When the object is moving in the circular path, observe that the direction of motion of the object will be continuously changing. Okay, that is a very important point to be noted regarding the circular motion. With respect to time, if we consider the position of the object along the circular path, for example, suppose at this instant the object is present at point A. After a small interval of time delta t, if the object comes here, then see the direction of motion of the object at point A will be different, and direction of motion of the object at point B will be different. Okay, so as this object continuously moves along the circular path, its direction goes on changes. Okay, remember this particular point regarding the circular motion. Now, dear students, regarding the circular motion, we have to understand few terminologies. Right. The very first term which is associated with the circular motion is radius vector. We know that if we have any circle, then radius is the measuring factor of that circle. It is one of the dimension which decides the circle, isn't it? So therefore here also, in the circular motion also, as the path of the object is circular, yes, there comes a radius. So we have to consider what is that radius or radius vector. Right. Dear students, radius vector is nothing but it is the distance between that fixed central point and the position of the object at that instant of time. Okay, so at one particular instant of time, if the object is present at point A, then its position with respect to center, if we measure that distance in that particular direction, then it is called as the radius vector. Just like how the position vector is taken in case of a plane. Recall what we have learnt in the previous classes. Okay, how the position vector is taken in the case of a plane, in the same way the radius vector is taken in this case. Okay, so therefore here that radius is a vector quantity. So what is radius vector? It is the line which joins the center of the circular path with the position of the object is called as the radius vector. Now we have the next important term, which is angular displacement. Dear students, already you know what is the displacement, but here it is the angular displacement in case of the circular motion. Okay, suppose one object is moving in the circular path, and at one instant of time t if its position is at A. After a time difference of say delta t, okay, if the position of the object is at point B, as it is moving like this, if its position is at point B, then the angle which is present between the two radii vectors, okay, see, suppose I call it as R1 is the first radius vector and another one is the R2 second radius vector, and of course R1 and R2 will be equal in magnitude, but only thing their direction will be different, okay. So therefore the angle which is present between these two radii, that angle is called as the angular displacement, okay. It is the angle described by the radius vector in a given interval of time. It is called as the angular displacement. I repeat it once again. The angle covered by the radius vector or described by the radius vector in a given interval of time or in a given time period is called as the angular displacement. Usually this angular displacement is represented by the symbol theta. Okay, so theta is the symbolic representation for angular displacement, right? So after measuring the angular displacement, yes, we need to express it in terms of some SI unit, isn't it? Therefore, radian is the SI unit of the angular displacement, and symbolically it is represented as RAD. Okay, radian is symbolically written as RAD. Okay, dear students, once again I want to tell you what is angular displacement. See, angular displacement is the displacement made by the radius vector in a particular time interval, or you can call it as the distance between the two radii vector with respect to the position of the objects. Okay. Now, after understanding what is angular displacement, we must know what is angular velocity. We know what is velocity. Velocity is rate of change of displacement. In the linear motion, velocity is rate of change of displacement. But here it is not the linear motion. It is the case of circular motion. Therefore, angular velocity is related with the angular displacement, right? Hence, angular velocity is defined as the rate of change of angular displacement. Okay, so it is the rate of change of angular displacement. So therefore, angular velocity is symbolically represented as omega. Okay, what it is? Its name is omega. Its name is omega. Okay. Then how this angular velocity is symbolically written or equationally written? It is written as theta divided by t. Omega is equal to theta divided by t. Right. So theta represents the angular displacement and t is the time taken for that displacement. Hence, omega is equal to theta divided by t. If the angular displacement is very small, that is, if we want to represent d omega, then theta is represented as d theta divided by time is taken as dt. So sometime we represent the angular displacement in the form of d omega is equal to d theta divided by dt. So you must remember both, right? Now, what is the SI unit of this angular velocity? Because it is important to know SI unit of all physical quantities, isn't it? So therefore, the SI unit of angular velocity is radian per second, and it is written as radian per second. See symbolically how it is written. as radian per second. Okay, so hope you got the meaning of angular displacement and angular velocity. This angular velocity is again a vector quantity. Okay, it is again a vector quantity because velocity is a vector quantity, displacement is a vector quantity. Therefore, a question arises in our mind. In case of motion along a straight line, we can very easily identify what is the direction of the velocity. Okay, so direction of the velocity is same as that of the direction of displacement. I repeat it once again. In linear motion, the direction of velocity is same as that of the direction of displacement. But here, remember, the displacement is changing its direction with respect to time. The displacement is changing with respect to, the direction of the displacement is changing with respect to time. Hence, the velocity also, the direction of the velocity also changes with respect to time. At every instant of time, the object will be having its own direction. Right. So assume that in this particular case, in the figure, assume that if object is moving in the anti-clockwise direction, right? If the object is moving in the anti-clockwise direction, right? For example, if object is moving from B to A, okay, if it is moving B to A like this, right? Then at one instant of time t, when the object is present at point B, how will be the direction of its velocity? Yes, the direction at that point will be along the direction of the tangent drawn to the circle at that point. So remember, dear students, in the 10th standard we have learnt about the tangents. See, tangent is the straight line which passes through one point present on the circumference of the circle, isn't it? So therefore here the direction of velocity will be along the tangent drawn at that point. So at point B, if we want to know what is the direction of the velocity, then at that point we have to draw the tangent. We have to consider the tangent. See, now the tangent is in one particular direction. Okay, then the velocity also will be along this direction only. Suppose the object comes to the point A along the circular motion. If the object comes to the point A, then what is the velocity, direction of the velocity at the point A? Yes, its direction is taken along the tangent drawn to the circle at that point. So direction of the velocity will be in this direction. Like this, the direction of the object continuously changes. Along with that, the direction of velocity also changes, or direction of angular velocity also goes on changes. Let us understand the uniform circular motion. We know what is circular motion, right? If the object is moving around a fixed point in a circular path, then motion of that object is called as the circular motion, definitely. And also we came to know about what is angular displacement and what is angular velocity, right? Now, based on all these things, let us understand the uniform circular motion. See, just to recall what happens in case of linear motion. How you are going to define the uniform motion of an object. How you used to define? See, you used to define the uniform motion of the object if the object is covering or making equal displacement in equal interval of time. Isn't it? If the object is making equal displacement in equal interval of time along a straight line, then we say that that the object is moving uniformly or it is under the uniform motion. In the same way, in circular motion also, if we want to define what is uniform circular motion, then remember, dear students, the object should be making what equal angular displacement at equal interval of time. Equal interval of time. So if the object along the circular path is making or covering equal angular displacement at equal interval of time, then we can say that that object is in the uniform motion. Okay. So if the object is in the uniform motion, automatically, see, its velocity also will be uniform. Uniform velocity. It will be moving with uniform angular velocity because it is a circular motion. No? So we have to consider it as angular velocity. Definitely the object will be moving with uniform angular velocity. Hence, the uniform circular motion of an object can be defined in both ways. In both ways. You can define it by considering the angular displacement, or you can define it with the help of angular velocity. Angular velocity. Right. See, if you want to consider the angular displacement, then what you have to say? You have to say that the object is, if the object is covering equal angular displacement or making equal angular displacement at equal interval of time, then it is called as the uniform circular motion. Otherwise, if you want to consider the angular velocity in the definition, then you can define it as the motion of an object along the circular path with uniform angular velocity. Okay, the motion of an object along the circular path with uniform angular velocity is called as uniform circular motion. Isn't it? So, you can define the uniform circular motion in two different ways, using the angular displacement as well as the angular velocity. Hope you got these terminologies clear. If these terminologies, what I have discussed, if they are clear, then we can very easily consider the next concept, that is the relationship between angular velocity and linear speed. Okay. Dear students, now let us discuss about the relation between angular velocity and linear velocity or linear speed. Okay. For that, let us consider one object present at a point A. Now, if that object is considered to be moving in the circular path, and at one point A, its position vector is taken as r. After some time t, as the object is moving in the circular path, assume that it covers some distance s along the circumference of the circle and reached the point B. Then s will be the distance traveled by the object along the circular path, and theta will be the angular displacement made by the object from A to B. When the object is considered at point B, then again its radius vector can be considered as r. Okay. Now, let us note down the information about what we have discussed. See, what is r here? R is the radius vector. radius vector, and its magnitude can be given as simply r. S is the distance traveled by the object along the circular path. Theta is the angular displacement made, okay, and T is the time gap or time taken to move from A to B. Now these are all the basic informations related to this particular concept. Okay, here we have a relationship for the distance traveled. We need to consider the relationship for the distance traveled, and that distance traveled can be expressed in two different ways. The distance can be expressed in two different ways. Remember, dear students. One, S is known as r theta. So it is in terms of the radius and the angular displacement made. Also, if we consider the linear motion, then the distance traveled or the displacement made can also be given by one more relationship, that is velocity into time taken. Now, if I equate these two, on equating these two, I can write V into T is equal to R into theta. Or if I want V, then it is R theta divided by T. Now, we already know that theta divided by T is nothing but angular velocity. Okay, we know that theta by T is angular velocity, and it is given by the symbol omega. So, in place of theta by T, I can write the angular velocity, then it will be V is equal to R omega. Dear students, this is the relationship between the angular velocity and the linear velocity or linear speed. Okay, so very simple concept to understand. Okay, and the same relationship, it can be modified according to our requirement. That is, suppose I need to calculate what is the angular velocity, then I can write the same as V divided by R. I hope you got the concept clear. Dear students, now let us discuss about two more concepts. One is the time period and another one is the frequency of revolution. Right. If the object moving in the circular path makes one complete rotation, then it is considered as one revolution. Okay, I repeat it once again. If the object covers the circular path once like this, then it is called as one revolution. Like this, if it continues to move along the circular path, then it can make many number of revolutions. How much time it takes to make one complete revolution? For example, if the object is starting from the point A and moves along the circular path and reaches back to the point A only, then how much time it has taken to return back to the same point A? So if we calculate or if we measure that time, then that time is called as time period, or simply it is called as period. Hence, dear students, we can say, what is time period? See, time period is nothing but the time taken by the object to complete one revolution is called as time period. Okay, or simply period. See, it is usually represented by capital T. It is denoted by capital T. Right? And of course, you know that its SI unit is the second. Now, let us move towards the next concept, that is frequency. If the object continues to move in the circular path, and if we count the number of revolutions made by the object in 1 second, then see that count what we make, the count of number of revolutions made by the object in 1 second, so that is called as the frequency of revolution. It is called as frequency of revolution. Remember, dear students. So we can define what is frequency of revolution. It is nothing but the number of revolutions made by the object in 1 second of time is called as frequency of revolution. The frequency of revolution is usually represented by F, that is small f, or there is one more symbol which is called as nu. Okay, it is written like this. And SI unit of the frequency, as you know, it is Hertz. Hertz is the SI unit of the frequency. Now, is it possible to have the relationship between the time period and frequency? Yes, definitely we can have the relationship between them. And when we observe these two concepts together carefully, see, it is the time taken for one revolution, and here F is the number of revolutions in 1 second. Then what is the relationship between these two? Yes, we know that time and the frequency are reciprocal to each other. Hence we can say time period is equal to 1 divided by F. Okay, time period is equal to 1 by F. Now, dear students, let us have some relationship between the let us have the equation related with the angular velocity in terms of time period and frequency. Okay, so we know that angular velocity omega is nothing but it is the displacement, angular displacement divided by the time taken for that displacement, isn't it? Here in this case, that is, if the object makes one complete revolution, for one complete revolution, right, then what will be the angular displacement? One complete revolution. Suppose it has started from A, right, and it has returned back to the same point A, then angular displacement made by it is 360 degree, or it can also be represented as 2 pi. Therefore, theta value is 2 pi. Then what about the time taken for making this one rotation? That time taken is the time period or period of revolution, and hence I can write T is equal to capital T. If we make these two substitutions in the angular velocity formula, then angular velocity can be given as omega is equal to 2 pi divided by capital T. So you must note this small equation. You must remember this small equation. Okay. Now, how the linear speed can be given? For that also, we know that in the previous discussion, we came to know about the relationship between angular velocity and linear speed. And linear speed is represented by r omega. Now, if I make the substitution for omega, then linear velocity v is equal to r into 2 pi divided by t, or it can also be written as 2 pi r divided by capital T. See, this is the relationship what we get for the linear speed or linear velocity. Hence, dear students, you must remember what is the relationship between T and F, what is the relationship between frequency, time period and omega, okay, and also what is the relationship between the linear velocity and the time period. See, if further if I want to make the change in the angular velocity, that is omega, I can write omega is equal to 2 pi into f. Okay, 2 pi into frequency. Why? Because 1 divided by T is nothing but f. So if this T is equal to 1 by f is substituted here, then you will get another form of the angular velocity, that is omega is equal to 2 pi f. Hope the discussion is clear to all of you. So in the next video, I am going to derive the equation for centripetal acceleration, which is very, very important for 4 or 5 marks. Okay, so just watch the next video.